But of course, then the palace react because she's behaved appallingly by not telling the palace what she's going to do. And I think the most interesting story is the Reitman's story. Reitman's is like a Marks and Spencer's in Canada. And I got the most...
7 years old. In a Newsweek article that looked at this very same question, it looked at what her sister, Samantha Markle, has said. Samantha has called out many of her lies. And about her age in her books, maybe she was trying to play older then, who knows? Sometimes you want to play older when you're younger. But yes, this was a mistake and it was not picked up before publication. And that has prompted many people to then run with this and say it's true. It's not true, guys. It's not true. All of the
advert, 80 strong cast and crew, who tell this story about a woman who is, after all, only paid $15,000 a day, peanuts for a star, to advertise these $100 a pair of clothes. And she behaves appallingly. And they all loathe her at the end. And she walks off with...
They thought the story was over. But then, Tom Bauer picked up his pen again. And when that man starts digging, someone's reputation usually ends up buried. Because this time, it isn't about Meghan's podcast, her Netflix deal, or even her feud with the royals. It's about a secret so strange, so personal, that even Buckingham Palace reportedly froze. A secret tied to the one thing Meghan's always controlled better than anyone else, her image. And when Tom Bauer exposed it, insiders say Meghan was left in tears. Tom Bauer isn't a gossip writer. He's the royal bloodhound who's been exposing palace secrets for decades. He was the first to call out Prince Andrew's scandals, the first to reveal the inner chaos inside the firm, and now he's come for Meghan Markle again. According to royal circles, just hearing his name makes the Sussex camp panic. Because when Bauer starts asking questions, he doesn't stop until he's holding evidence in both hands. This time his curiosity led him somewhere unexpected. Not to the palace or Montecito, but to a dusty stack of old teen magazines. And what he found there could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Meghan Markle. It began with a single page inside a 1997 issue of 17 magazine.
There is a theory that's been out there for a while. It's been floating around. Royal fans are convinced Meghan Markle is lying about her age. In fact, they think she's older. And not
for Meghan Markle, did you buy into her thing that she had no idea what she's really getting into?
Oh, on the contrary, I think she's a very scheming, very clever woman. No, I think the surprising thing at the end of the book, I realized how successful she'd been. Here was a woman who was nothing. I mean, born, broken family, the whole thing, an unknown actress, all the rest of it, becomes a global star, which is what she wanted. When she was...
Yeah, she lies a lot about her stuff. We've caught her in so many lies. Her own sister has come forward, her family, everybody is exposing the lies that she's been telling. And it would only make sense that she might lie about this. Would it be such a big deal? Is it true? Well, thankfully...
Among beauty tips and pop star interviews, there was a small feature on aspiring actresses. One name jumped out, Meghan Markle. The detail that changed everything? Age, 21. At first glance, it looked harmless, until someone did the math. Because in 1997, Meghan was supposed to be 15. That's a 6-year difference. Not a typo. A full chapter missing from the royal timeline. Within hours, screenshots hit Reddit, TikTok, and royal blogs. Was Meghan older than she claimed? Did she rewrite her Hollywood past? The internet went wild. And Tom Bauer was watching. He called it a clue that unlocks a bigger lie. Social media exploded. Fans turned into detectives, old school records, yearbook photos, red carpet shots. Nothing was off limits. Some argued it was just a misprint. Others swore it proved Meghan had shaved years off her age to appear younger in Hollywood. TikTokers posted side-by-side comparisons. Twitter threads turned into investigation boards with strings and arrows. Even longtime royal supporters started whispering. And through it all, Meghan stayed silent. No denial, no clarification, just that perfectly rehearsed smile. But silence in the age of the internet is gasoline on a fire. That's when Tom Bauer decided to step in. And what he uncovered next made the magazine look like the tip of an iceberg. Bauer reached out to someone who knew Meghan before the fame, before the palace.
She said to her father, I want to be famous, I want to walk down the red carpet. And she has now done that. And she's calculated that she could be a great success.
Which they weren't. Even a year ago.
Sure, and this book may hasten the downward trend, for which I wouldn't be sad at all, because they pose a real threat to the royal family.
Well, that's what a lot of the magic of the monarchy. They're calling the royals a bunch of callous racists and so on, without producing any hard evidence to support any of these claims.
On the contrary.
And it's incredibly damaging.
Actually telling untruths.
Yeah.
And I think that was...
But tucked somewhere
Her father, Thomas Markle. Thomas, who raised Meghan alone for years, had plenty to say. He remembered her school plays, her teenage auditions, her early modeling jobs. But when he compared those memories with Meghan's official timeline, the math didn't add up. He said softly, almost confused, "Some of the years don't match. I don't know why." To Bauer, that was confirmation. If even her own father's timeline didn't line up, something was off. And yet, he wasn't angry. He sounded disappointed. Because behind every secret, there's always someone left out of the truth. In Hollywood, age isn't just a number, it's currency. Casting directors read birthdays like stock prices. The younger you are, the longer you're marketable. According to Bauer, Meghan may have adjusted her age to fit that world, not because she was ashamed, but because she understood the game. He described it bluntly. This wasn't vanity, it was strategy. And maybe it worked. By the time Meghan landed Suits, she was packaged as the fresh rising actress in her late 20s, the perfect underdog narrative. If she'd been 6 years older, that story wouldn't have sold nearly as well. But Bauer didn't stop at Hollywood motives. He started wondering what the palace knew, and whether this quiet little number switch could have rattled their image-obsessed world. Behind closed doors, palace aides reportedly began asking their own questions, not because of the number itself, but because of what it meant. If Meghan could reshape her past that easily, what else could be flexible? An insider told the Mirror, "The institution can survive scandals, but not inconsistency. Authenticity is its currency." Translation, if the palace had backed a duchess with a questionable past timeline, that's a PR nightmare. William allegedly raised an eyebrow over tea, saying something like, "Well, that explains a lot." Meanwhile, Harry stayed quiet, perhaps because the man who exposed it wasn't a tabloid, but Tom Bauer, whose accuracy is infamous. While headlines screamed, Meghan did what she does best. She went silent. No Instagram statement, no podcast mention, not even a denial through friends. Instead, sources say she was visibly shaken, worried that any comment would keep the story alive. For someone who built her brand on honesty and empowerment, that silence felt deafening. Royal experts claimed she broke down privately, not just because of the rumor, but because Tom Bauer had revived the one chapter she thought was long buried. Her Hollywood years.
Steph, the alternate, has compiled a slideshow. Let's actually get to the...
It's terrible. That's really why I wrote the book, because I just thought this woman is really doing something quite dreadful to Britain, and Harry has fallen in love with her in a ludicrous way.
As in the diary of Princess Pushy's sister, she confirms the year of Meghan's birth is 1981.
What about Thomas Markle in all this? He's had a big stroke. I'm told he can't even talk at the moment. He's not heard a word from his daughter. He brought her up for years.
The years she worked to polish, reframe, and relaunch. And now, that entire narrative was under attack. Bauer went public. He connected the dots on live radio and in his upcoming book draft. He said, "If one date in her past doesn't add up, we have to ask what else has been edited." His tone wasn't cruel. It was surgical. And that's what made it sting more. Within 48 hours, his comments were quoted in every major British outlet. Tom Bauer claims Meghan's timeline may not be as royal as it seems. That one line reignited global scrutiny. Suddenly, it wasn't about a number. It was about trust. If a duchess can rewrite her own past, what does that say about the fairy tale the palace sold to the world? The internet turned the mystery into a meme war. Meghan Markle, time traveler, joked one tweet. Others posted fake math equations captioned, "When your age doesn't add up, but your PR team says it does." But beneath the jokes, there was a darker tone. Some fans felt betrayed. They defended her for years against the tabloids, believing every word of her self-made woman story. Now, they weren't sure what to believe. Even diehard supporters admitted it looked strange. And the ones who already disliked her, they saw it as proof that Meghan was crafted, not candid. The divide grew deeper than ever. Bauer's findings painted a new version of Meghan's early years. According to old interviews and casting sheets, she'd been hustling in Los Angeles for much longer than fans believed. She wasn't the overnight success. She was the survivor of 1,000 auditions and 100 rejections, which makes the Suits' success even more impressive, but also more complicated. Because the Meghan in her 30s played the role of a 20-something just starting out. The rebrand worked, Hollywood bought it, the palace bought it, but Tom Bauer didn't. He called it a masterpiece of personal marketing, and that line alone went viral. Reports claim the palace quietly held an internal discussion, not a formal meeting, but a briefing session, the kind where no one writes anything down. A senior aide allegedly asked, "If the Duchess's birth year becomes controversial, how do we verify it without looking complicit?" Another responded, "We don't. We wait for it to pass." Classic royal move. Deny by ignoring. But even silence can't hide panic. Behind palace walls, they were frustrated. They'd already endured Netflix, Oprah, Spotify, and a dozen PR fires. This one, a number in a magazine, should have been nothing. But thanks to Tom Bower, it became a symbol of something much larger: control. When friends reportedly visited Meghan in Montecito, they found her emotional. One source claimed she kept saying, "I can't believe he's doing this again." Not because she feared the truth, but because she feared the perception. She'd spent years rebuilding herself after leaving the palace, launching lifestyle projects, planning documentaries, focusing on her children, and now the world was talking about her age. She felt mocked, misunderstood, and cornered. And yet, there was nothing she could say to make it stop. Because if she addressed it, the story would double overnight. That's the cruelty of scandal. You're damned if you speak and damned if you don't. Bower ended his segment with a cryptic line. It's never about the number, it's about the narrative, and hers keeps changing. That single quote rippled through tabloids, podcasts, and royal YouTube channels like wildfire. By the next morning, #MeghanAgeMystery was trending again. Even mainstream outlets who had ignored it before were forced to mention it. For context, behind the scenes, PR consultants scrambled to shift focus toward Meghan's charity projects, but nothing stuck. Every photo, every event comment section, someone brought up the age thing. The internet never forgets, especially when Tom Bower's the one who reminds it. When you strip away the gossip, this story isn't really about how old Meghan Markle is, it's about image control. The way public figures, especially women, must constantly rewrite themselves to survive the spotlight. Tom Bower didn't just expose a possible date error, he exposed a system that rewards illusion. Meghan may have played the game better than most, until the numbers caught up. Because in Hollywood and in royalty, perception is reality. And once that perception cracks, it's almost impossible to glue back together. So, was it all a mistake, a typo, a strategic edit? Maybe we'll never know. But one thing's certain, Tom Bower made sure the world would ask the question. For Meghan, the damage isn't just in the rumor, it's in the doubt. Because once the public starts wondering what's real and what's rehearsed, the fairy tale magic fades. And that's why the headline didn't read "Meghan Markle lies about her age." It read, "Meghan Markle in tears after Tom Bower exposes this secret." Because sometimes the truth isn't what breaks you, it's the idea that you no longer control it. So yes, she's the Duchess of Sussex. But after this, she's also the queen of damage control. And as Tom Bower teases his next book, one thing is clear. The royal drama isn't over. Not by a long shot.